Ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon to all of you. And at the outset, let me take this opportunity in extending warm wishes for a happy International Women's Day to all of you gathered here. I would just like to briefly highlight about the various regarding the participation of women in various fields and especially participation of women in the labor force, both in the global arena and also in our country specifically. If you see globally as well, the representation of women in the labor force, there's still a lot of scope for that. There's still a lot of scope for increase in the percentage of women representation in the labor force. Even global average, I think out of the total population of men, more than 70%, it's the labor force participation among men. It's usually more than 60-70%, which is I would say which is not a very bad indicator. But globally, just letting aside our domestic indicators for the time being, even globally, many of the countries are grappling with the situation of lower representation of women in the labor force. Many countries are grappling with percentages of even the developed economies and the other developing economies as well. It's grappling with figure of around 40% plus. And the indicators are further grim when it comes to the domestic scenario, because we are looking at a percentage of only around 30 to 33% of women representation in the labor force of the country. Definitely, there's a lot of scope for this, increase of this percentage in the labor force participation. And we are not looking at just just a rosy figure of this percentage that it should be 40%, 50%. It's not just a rosy figure which we can be proud of and then claim that we have just increased this percentage. But why this percentage is important is that this directly translates into economic activity. It directly translates into domestic product of that particular place. It directly translates into more employment opportunities for women in that place. And it directly translates into more income for the families and a better standard of living, especially for the women and children. Because what happens is that the income from men, I'm not trying to blame the men because it's Women's Day, but most of the times the income for the men, the income from the men, not the full percentage percolates down into the family expenditure, into the welfare of the members of the family. But when you look at the income indices of women, it directly percolates. A higher percentage of the income of a woman directly percolates into the expenditure of the family, expenditure for the children of the family. So when we try and improve the economic indices for women, we are looking at better standards of living for the children, we are looking at better standards of living for the family, and in turn better standards of living for the entire community as well. So that's why these figures are very important, and I'm sure you all agree with me that these percentages are not less because of the lack of potential or capacity among women. Be it any field, any established field, it has been we have so many companies, especially in other major cities, and then when you see the software and other companies as well. Even I have had colleagues when I was working in the private sector. Most of the times, of course, women are more sincere than men, and they spend more time in the workplace, and they have established themselves and they have proved themselves that they are not less to many. They are not less than men in any of the fields in which they have set foot into. But what lacks is the opportunity, as a director was highlighting. What lacks is the accessibility to opportunities. What lacks is a targeted intervention. What is lacking is the absence of segmenting them, the absence of targeting them and coming up with a very targeted approach and targeted programs towards them. So what we are trying to do today is that is just a small step towards that we want to, out of the existing infrastructure, out of the existing training potential what we have got, we want to leverage on that and then try and take this accessibility, try and take this opportunity to the doorsteps of women. And we want more and more women to take part and then take advantage of the schemes what we have and take part in whatever platforms we can create for them. And in turn we can increase the coverage of not only the existing schemes but of course increase the coverage of the women who are directly benefited from that. So this is a small step towards that only, and we are hopeful as a department that in the future also we would like to come up with more such similar programs, especially targeting women, especially improving the accessibility to women and improving the opportunities for women. And the mobile skill morung the director was highlighting, but I would just like to supplement to what he was saying. This mobile skill morung initiative, that is, it's just roughly translates into skill development on wheels, where we take the skill development programs to the doorsteps of people right till the village level, and then we impart training to them, and further of course we give toolkits to them, and then we create an opportunity and ambience for them to get trained at the village level itself. And just to highlight to you for those who are not aware of it, this initiative of mobile skill morung, it was even recognized by our Honorable Prime Minister of India during the last Chief Secretary's conference, and where I also had the opportunity and privilege to be a part of it. And the initiative of mobile skill morung was highlighted in front of the Honorable Prime Minister in the presence of the other Chief Secretaries and high dignitaries as well, and this has the appreciation from the highest office in our country. And today I am very happy that we could partner with the Nagaland Police Family Welfare Association, and because as a department we may have ideas, we may have some strengths, we may have some potential, but without the right stakeholders, without the right partnering stakeholders, it is very difficult. It's very difficult for the department to foray into each and every place, into each and every, say, corner of the society. So this is a very good example of what is symbiotic relationship we can bring about with the existing stakeholders, wherein we do our part, but there are other stakeholders also who can take up the strengths from us and further amplify it and further create nodes and network so that our programs can reach to various stakeholders in the society. So this is a very good example for that, and I also look forward to having more such partnering stakeholders with us in our existing schemes or in any of the new schemes what we can bring about as well. My only suggestion and request to all of you is that, especially the Nagaland Police Family Welfare Association, is that we can only provide that initial platform and a base where which people can make use of, and this is only a hand-holding exercise. But after some time, it is your responsibility, and it is my sincere request to you that you have to see it through till the end. It is not that people have come and then just taken the training and then we give them some certificates and then that's the end of it, and then we have a program like this and then all of us clap our hands and then go home. No. What we want is that the individuals who are getting in touch with us through this program, we want them to become, of course, self-reliant and productive individuals, and we have to see through till that stage where they are productively employed and they are generating a decent income every month, and then it sustains also. So all I am requesting is that the sustainability part of it, it is not possible only from the department side, it is possible from stakeholders like you. So with that, I also extend my best wishes and my heartiest appreciation to our directorate led by our director, and also all the colleague officials in my directorate. I'm very proud that we have a very good team of officials in the directorate through whom we can always say take many more programs like this in the future as well. And I wish all the other participants also all the very best in whatever activities is being undertaken. Thank you.